Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Czech Tier 8 Premium Heavy Tank, the Skoda T56. Now if you did like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the Skoda T56. It's a tank that I do find a little bit frustrating at times, but at the same time, it's a really damn solid heavy tank. It does have two options for a gun, so you can go to the modules section of your tank and you can pick between a single shot version of this gun and this double tap autoloader. Now, both replays with the double tap autoloader because, well, we'd had two really nice games with this autoloader, right? And it is a really powerful autoloader. The two-shot cannon has a 3.5 second intra-clip reload, but you have 460 alpha, so those two shots, you're dealing 920 damage in that 3.5 seconds. Because obviously you slap the round in, intra-clip reload, slap the next round in. Problem is, naturally, this gun is pretty derpy, which can be a bit of a pain. And with the fairly low penetration on this gun, it does mean that when you are bottom tier, it does start to struggle, because you do start to struggle to be able to pen things, which is why you see a lot of these firing full gold, because you only have 200 pen on the standard AP, which is not that high, and you have 248 penetration on the premium AP, which again isn't really that high. So a lot of people will just fire full gold in this tank so that they've got the ability to just pen everything that they might, or have a chance to pen everything that they're going to face, and then not have to reload the double tap clip for 20.26 seconds that I have in this tank, to then be able to actually penetrate things when they are bottom tier. Like I said, the penetration is definitely a frustration for this vehicle, I find, generally. You do have a 0.34 accuracy with the build that I've got, which isn't horrific, but it's also not great, with an accuracy of 0.64 during rotation and an accuracy of 2.35 during movement, which means this gun does tend to bloom out quite badly once you've come from a full move. If you just turn in the turret and stuff like that, it's not really that bad. But yeah, once you've come from full movement, your bloom is quite big, and that's where you start to feel the 2.43 second aim time that I've got with this build as well. You can just see it there. And this is one of those guns, and it may sound silly, but this is one of those guns that if it's not truly fully aimed in, it loves to miss. It loves it. And you might be going, well, yeah, isn't that most guns? Well, no, there's quite a few guns where if it's like nearly aimed in and you could wait half a second more to have it fully, or not even half a second, you know, like 0.2 of a second more to have it fully aimed in, they'll still hit anyway. Whereas this tank's like, nah, you know what, you weren't fully aimed, so I'm just going to hit the floor, mate. Sorry. And that's what this tank does, which can be pretty frustrating. You have 1,020 meters a second shell velocity on the AP and the premium, which, again, isn't the fastest in the universe, but it's also not bad. Once you're getting above 1,000 meters a second, I say you're starting to get to the, oh, this is okay, you know, in terms of the shell velocity. But that does mean that, obviously, at range, you do have to give a good amount of lead to be able to slap the rounds out. You've got 8 degrees of gun depression on this tank, which means that you are fantastic on the ridgeline, adding to the fact that you've got fantastic turret armor, and you've got pretty good upper plate as well for when you're hull down and stuff like that. It means you'll ricochet loads when you're hull down. This is a hull down monster. It is very, very good at it. That's where you want to be with this tank, realistically. Trying to get hull down and using the ridgelines if you can, because that's where you'll put out most of the damage with this thing. And then you can just put out that damage with the 460 damage that this vehicle has, which is glorious. It hits so hard. It's so satisfying when you do get those double taps off. But the gun does have to behave to do that, which sometimes, like I say, it just decides no. So what do I run in terms of a crew and equipment on the old Skoda T56? Well, I run ball leader, rapid reload, sixth sense, situational awareness, track mechanic, clutch braking, steady aim, snapshot, run and gun. I run all 3 gun perks, like I say, because this gun is exceptionally derpy. I want to help it out as much as humanly possible, because it can be pretty damn frustrating. And then I run clutch braking because the track traverse on this tank is also fairly slow at 26 degrees a second, so I want to be able to make that quicker so that I feel a little bit more nimble while I'm turning and stuff. And then in terms of the equipment, I run optics, gun stabilizer, and the GLD. I run the gun lane drive because the aim time on this tank is slow. I just want to make the aim time better if I can, because it's just, yeah, this gun handling can be absolute pain, and it was just really frustrating me, so I wanted to make it better. For situations like this, although that shot snaps straight in, it's nice to be able to get the gun aimed in a little bit quicker. And then the gun stabilizer, like I say, because the accuracy during movement and rotation isn't that great if you don't help it out with the crew skills and the equipment. So I want to help out the gun handling as much as humanly possible. And optics to be able to get myself up to the 473 meters of view range, because the base view range on this tank isn't that great. So I want to be able to at least try and spot for myself, especially in the situations where we're in, well, situations like this, where there's a TD looking at me and I can't see it. But if I didn't have good view range, I might not see it. But if it shot at me, and I managed to catch a glimpse of it, I might be able to spot it, whereas if I'd just not spec'd out for the view range, we probably wouldn't have seen that IKV, for example, that's just shot us there. You've just seen why I boost the view range up as much as I humanly can do. So yeah, the Skoda T56, like I say, it does have this double tap autoloader. Like I said, you do have the option, if you do not like the autoloader, you can just switch to using the single shot. But the single shot's DPM isn't that great. I mean, you've got 2.3k DPM with this build for this autoloader, and with the single shot, you do have 2.5k DPM, which is definitely better than the autoloader, but you just lose that pack-a-punch power that the double tap has, really, for the autoloading system for the Skoda T56, and that's a lot of what makes this tank special, in my opinion. I mean, you've got 35 km/h top speed for this vehicle with that 13.54 horsepower per ton ratio, which means this tank is a little bit slow. I mean, it's heavy tanky, right? That 35, I'd say 35 kilometers an hour is fairly average for a heavy tank. And then once you're starting to get above that, you're starting to get more mobile. And 35 kilometers an hour means that you do sort of slowly but surely get around the battlefield, and that means having the ability to just go bang, bang and deal 920 damage is really, really nice. Whereas, you know, if you're reloading for nearly 11 seconds with the base single shot gun, you get one shot in for 460, and then they just turn around and go, oh, hey, friend. And it makes it more awkward with your low penetration and stuff like that. So we finished that first game with the victory. 5 kills, 5,093 damage, 760 assistance. The ace tanker, the high caliber, the sniper, 2,074 base XP. A fantastic game there for the Skoda T56 on that map, which was Redshire. We got there in the end. And yes, now we're on this map, which is Hellfire Pass. I've just seen it on screen. Come on, brain. I swear, I remember all these statistics, but maps, I look at the map and I go, I've played this game for years. I should know this map. But my brain is going, no, you want to know what map it is? No, my friend. It is what it is, right? Brain poop out sometimes, and that's just life. We've all had those moments. So, we're on the second replay. And the second replay, we're on Hellfire Pass. We're starting again. So, on Hellfire Pass, I want to go to the position at G8, F8, or FG7. You know, in that little square there, there's a little ridge line. You go there, it is a fantastic place to be, because you get to cut out people crossing the JK line, up the 9-0 line, so you can shoot anyone that pushes that way from their team. But from that position also, you can completely cut off their advance up the FG line, up to the FG6 area, and then that's where they'd normally go up to the 6 and 7 line, right? You can completely cut off 2 avenues of attack for the enemy team. And it means you're in the perfect position to just get free shots as people advance into those places. And to add to that, you've also got the perfect position to then move up as well. So if you want to attack the JK line, you've got the perfect position to then move into the next spot, or you can then move round along the FG line a little bit easier as well. It's a very, very flexible position, and especially, I'd say it's better for tanks like this that have 8 degrees of gun depression, 7 degrees of gun depression, because it means that you can use your gun depression to good effect to be able to abuse this spot and get hulled down if you need to, especially attacking tanks like the T32 that are currently sat at F5 if you need to. But we're not bothered about that at this current point in time. What we're doing is, they have got quite a few tanks here, so we're just trying our best to put shots in where we can. So we've got one shot into the whatever tank it was that drove in front of us. We've got a second shot into the 53 TP there with our autoloader, and now we are pulling back. We've boosted our reload with food, which again has knocked it down from that 23.94, I think it was, or no, sorry, 20.26 reload to 18.8. That's what food boosting does for you with your autoloader. Sometimes if you manage to reload it and then instantly boost, like I say, you've just knocked a second and a half off of your reload, which is glorious. We get a nice double tap there into that King Dragon as he crosses, and this is what I'm talking about with this position. We managed to get a few shots into the people that are pushing the HJ line. We've managed to dissuade them from doing that, and we've noticed that people are attacking up the FG line, and we've swiveled round to come and deal damage there as well. We get a nice shot into the Chrysler K's side there, pull back so we can get the gun depression and put the second shot through his side and shut him down. Unfortunately for the Iron Rain, he gets trashed by the TDs and the heavy tank that are up on that ridgeline. But once again, we flicked around and we're trying to counter the other push. This is why this is a pivotal position for this map, because you can just... yeah, you can just stop attacking from each way. So we've come round on this AT7, and it was like, hang on a minute, this AT7 doesn't fire that fast while he's stock. So we managed to take away about 300 hit points, but we managed to slap 2 rounds into his top of his tank, actually dealt about 1,000 damage to him, and yeah, Seb came along and finished off the AT7 there with a shot to his cupola. Poor old AT7. It's just like, hello friend, I have DPM. Well, it's like, well, you've got a giant weak spot, and oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Tier 7. Now we're reloaded, we're going to go try and help our friends that have pushed round against these heavy tanks and TDs. Again, we're going to go try and create a distraction, make it, well, create a crossfire for the enemy team there, which we've done. We got rid of the T32. Seb's come around to kill the Tiger P now, which he's gone. There's just the T28 in front of us. I'm being very, very wary of the TDs that were on my right. We get spotted there, and it is the TD that was at F5, currently looking at me, but I know that if I sort of try and get myself with the buildings to my left, I can stay covered from them. We tried to get a shot snapped in on the T28, but sadly the first shot flew high, because like I say, if you don't aim this gun, it is awful. But we've got the second shot ready to slap into the T28, because Seb turned the T28 around. Again, we're on the reload. We know where one of the TDs is, so we're going to push towards it. But as we're coming round, it's like, that's a Jag Panther 2 directly behind us. What? Okay, he's there. I think he was there earlier on, maybe. But we're just going to ignore that guy for now, because we're going to go after the TD that we know was directly behind us at F5, so that we can get rid of the threat from behind, and we can deal with what's going off over there. And there it is, it's another T28. We put a shot in, that was a debatable shot. The RNG said absolutely not to us there, and it went exceptionally high, but it worked out in the end, because it penned the T28. We managed to get the second shot into the roof of his tank. We reload the premium AP, because, well, the standard 208 pen is actually going to struggle. If that T28 flattens out his armour, 208 penetration is going to struggle with his tank. So we loaded the 248 pen so that we can go through it. We're now side scraping for the T28 before we realise, oh no, there's a medium tank coming up behind us, because that is where I actually heard things blowing up behind me. We get a shot into the T34-3. We get a second shot in. He is now at one shot. I'm below the ridgeline, so this T28 can't quite find a shot at me, but I want to keep pushing this T34-3 down, because if I pull back, the T28 will get a shot. So we've trapped this T34-3 in a position where he is just, with his penetration, he is not penning me. It is not happening. We managed to get the reload in, and good night, Mr. T34-3. That poor guy got bullied, but we shut down that T8 preferential premium medium tank, and there's just one tank left on the enemy team, and it is a Bulldog. So we're going to go for the full reload, so that we're ready to double tap him if we come across him. And that was one of those situations where I could have just tried to get 2 shots into the T28 to shut it down, but I knew if I turned around, and I'd already taken the hit from the T28, I'd be able to swivel around, attack the T34-3, and then just stop him using his decent DPM to shoot my rear, because again, the T28 has every chance of penning me, especially if he's firing premium, of going through my upper plate, because, you know, 300 plus pen is going to go through the upper plate of this tank. And the T34-3 was never going to pen me. If I face-hugged him like we just did, he was never penning me. So I chose to choose the tank that was, you know, not going to... we were going to be able to deal with and not take hits from the rear, essentially. But we managed to get a nice snapshot into the Bulldog there, which never happens that often, so don't believe in that gun handling. And we finished with 5 kills, 6.5k damage, 565 assistance, the ace tank of the high caliber, the sniper medal, with 2.1k base XP, nearly 2.2k base XP, a fantastic game for the Skoda T56. A heavy tank that is really damn solid, and like I say, you do have 2 good gun choices in the autoloader and the single shot. I do think the autoloader is better because of the pack-a-punch power that the Skoda T56 has, but it is an absolutely solid tank. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
great success.